kindergarten to second graders, then you're probably familiar with books that look like this. I like to call these leveled readers because each of them has some sort of number up in the corner depicting on what level this book is for. It seems great because you found a book, level 1, you have a first grader, that's exactly what this book is meant for. You get home and you have them start reading and you just realize that they can't read most of this. They start getting defeated while they're reading. They have words that they just don't know how to sound out, and you start feeling like, oh, my kid's probably a little bit behind. Well, I'm here to tell you that it's not you, it's the book, and here's why. Hi, I'm Stacey with Kids Learning for Life, and don't worry, I went through this exact scenario when my kiddos were in kinder and first grade, and I was trying to find books for them to read, hence why I now have a stack of all of these different leveled readers. What I found with these was that even though they have these numbers and then they tell you what grade it's for, I really don't find that for most of these, this grade chart is anywhere remotely accurate, especially for the younger kiddos. So what's wrong with these? Well, let's take a look at one of them and I'll show you. Let's take a look at the World of Reading Iron Man Level 1. So according to this, it is for pre-K to first grade. So I'm assuming kind of a kindergarten age level because again, you've got your lower grade ones and your higher pre-K. So kindergarten level is typically just your basic 26 letter sounds, the short vowel sounds for all 26 letters in the alphabet. So if we look at the title of this book, we find our first problem with this being an early reader book. Is a student that has learned that I says I is going to say on, Iran, man. Of course, there are some words that are not always pronounced exactly as they sound out, but so you have to figure that out. So Iron Man, that's going to be a problem for them, but they're going to see the picture, they're going to know, okay, that must say Iron Man. And then when we open up, we have this. So T-H-I-S, th-is, that's okay. If they've learned that the T-H says th, and again, kindergarten, they kind of start to introduce that, is, and then Tony, T-O, again, long O with a Y saying E, Tony. That's not a kindergarten appropriate word. And then st-a-erk, st-a-erk. They haven't also learned typically that AR sound yet either, depending on what school they're going to, what program you're utilizing. So already I haven't even gotten past the first page and there's already so many things that I see with this not being at an actual kindergarten level. So what this does for kiddos is it starts teaching them to start guessing at words. They're gonna go, okay, I-R-O-N, that says iron, so now they just have to kind of remember that I-R-O-N says iron, and they're kind of learning certain words by sight rather than actually learning to decode the words. So another way books like these can be a little bit problematic is even though they do have the different steps. So here I have the step into reading. I've got some step 3s, a step 2. I don't have a step 1, but even with the steps, there's no logical order that you should be reading these books in. So as we kind of saw with some of the other ones, it introduces different words, different sounds, and there's no logical way that it expects you to go through their books. They basically just want you to know, okay, if you're in level 2, you can just pick up any level 2 book and read it. And I've just found that it's not necessarily, here, level 3 is grades 1 through 3. And 1 through 3, that's a big span to claim that this is a book for those grade levels. And then when you open up the book, there's different words and you're not quite sure as a parent, what concepts does this book teach a child, or does your child need to know in order to read it phonetically? So if I don't recommend these, what do I recommend? I do think that a curriculum can be very helpful. So following some sort of logical scope and sequence, and a curriculum is going to do all that work for you. So I've always utilized All About Reading. I've also heard good things about Logic of English. So those are 2 curriculums you can look into. Now, if you don't want to do the curriculum route, that's totally fine. Some of these suggestions I have for you are kind of curriculums built in. Again, because they follow that logical scope and sequence of introducing different sounds and only introducing sounds up until whatever book you're on that your child has already learned, they kind of work as a curriculum. And some of these are actually currently free in digital form, so something to definitely check out. First up is Half Pint books. Now this is a series of decodable books that are all organized in a sequential order with a logical scope and sequence of introducing new sounds and words to your child. When going online to look at these series, you can easily see which set covers which sounds so that you know if your child has learned up to a certain sound, they can do any of the books behind that, and you can order those, and then they have something to read that they're going to be able to sound out and actually read on their own. One great thing about Half Pint Books is for the rest of this school year, they are still offering their books for free digitally online. I've been utilizing these books as extra practice with my kiddo who's having a hard time when we moved up into the next level of our All About Reading. He's doing okay, but I just felt like he needed more practice with kind of the lower level. And yes, he does like going back to some of the All About Reading Level 1 books, but he likes something new as well. So I've been utilizing these digitally this year, and it's been really awesome for extra practice. Next up is Academic Success for All Learners. This is again another program of books that have a logical scope and sequence that can take your kiddos from beginning reading all the way through. They do have a placement guide on their website to make sure that you are starting at the right set or level for your child based on where they're already at. This company is also offering their product online for free as well. So definitely take advantage of that while it's still available. My next suggestion is not just good for those beginning readers for K through 2. It's also great for those kiddos that have maybe had a late start to reading and are trying to start to read, but they don't want to read these baby books. High Noon Books offers high interest but low reading level books. Now they do also have K through 2nd decodable books as well, but I really thought that it was a great idea to put high interest, high quality graphics, but easy words that an older kid learning to read could actually enjoy and not feel like they're having to read these little kid books with little topics. These are more high interest topics, but using simple words. So as you can see, this set called The Fixers is a first grade reading level, but actually has an interest level of 9 through 12. So again, for those older students that really need help reading and need that extra support quickly, but don't want to feel like they're going back and reading first grade level stuff. It all looks way more mature and the topics are a little more mature, but all of the words are simplified for that reading level. This next suggestion I have is probably the most well-known, and they are Bob Books. Bob Books provide that logical scope and sequence, and they have simple images and simple text. So hopefully some of these new resources will help you ditch these leveled readers for something that's actually going to help your child learn and feel successful. If you are curious about the All About Reading curriculum, I will put my reviews over here so you can check those out as well. See you next time, and happy homeschooling.